The 248 number that I just promoted, is that you, Gary?
Whatever number that is, Paul, it's muted.
Yeah, I've asked them to unmute. Could you unmute yourself and let us know who you are? There's also a number here called Salem.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep, is that you, Gary?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Well, we are live and the meeting is all yours, sir.
Okay, so, all right, and everybody, so we got Dale, okay. All right, so let's stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, welcome everybody. We are again doing the Zoom platform for the members of the public who have joined us by video or by phone. Your microphones are muted, but will be open when appropriate in order to maximize disruptions to the meeting and any problems that we might have in connections or whatever. So tonight, everybody, our roll call tonight that's present. If you can hear me, Mr. Winsley, if you would like to take the roll call, who's here?
Very good. Converse?
Here.
Daniel?
He's absent and excused tonight, out of town.
DeLuca?
Here.
McLaughlin?
Here.
Trent?
Here, calling in from Salem Township.
Wensley is here, and Whitaker.
Here.
Very good.
So the members that are here in the Township Hall are Mr. DeLuca, TJ, McLaughlin, Dale Converse, and Gary Whitaker. Okay, tonight the agenda is before you. If there's any additions or deletions at this time? I don't hear of any. All those in favor as the agenda is presented, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unless, Del, you want to take a roll call, but I think we're okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay? Okay, so we're down to public comment. Del, or Paul, if you have anything you'd like to say about the public comment, I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, sir. So if you're calling in by phone, you can raise your hand by pressing *9. If you have joined us electronically, you can raise your digital hand by pressing the raise your hand button, and we will call on you one at a time until all members have had an opportunity to speak. And when you've raised your hand, I will press the unmute button to allow you to speak. So if there's anybody out there, please go ahead and raise your hand. Mr. Chairman, I see no members raising their hand at this point.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. Okay, now we're down to the consent agenda. Mr. Wednesday.
All right, we have the minutes of January 12th, 2021, regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. Disbursements for January 2021 out of the general fund, $150,052.92. We had a payroll of $50,872.60. Pay for of $469.44. Sewer fund, $7,744.65. Escrow fund, $4,896.90. The MEDC fund, the disbursements of $75,907.56. And the Chubb Road paving project, $451.10. Now for the invoices for the month of February, out of the general fund, $83,748.86. The sewer fund, $6,428.85. Escrow fund, $9,876.90. The MEDC fund, $100,072.67. And the Chubb Road paving project invoices of $510.40. Do we have a second on these?
I'll second it.
Is your mic on, Reggie? Yes. Reggie DeLuca, second.
All right,
Okay, Del, can we have a roll call vote on this, please?
sure. Converse,
Yes.
Daniel is absent. DeLuca,
Yeah.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Trent,
yes,
Lindsley, yes, and Whitaker.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so moving on down to the next on the agenda is the motion for Land Preservation Conservation Board appointment. I move that Salem Township approve the following reappointment to Salem Township Land Preservation Conservation Board ending 12/31/2023, Ms. Sue Beejan. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Reggie DeLuca seconds. And, Del, if you don't mind just doing a roll call on that.
Right, for each one. Converse,
Yes.
Daniel is absent. DeLuca,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Trent,
yes,
Lindsley, yes, and Whitaker.
Yes. Okay, next on our agenda is something I've been doing for 9 years now. It's the same board of review, which meets March the 10th. So if you're ready to come in and protest your taxes, that's the time to do it. So I just have a couple forms here to read. I should have it memorized by now. So the first one is protest in writing, resolution. And, okay. So this resolution is 2021-02-901. In order to ease the burden of taxpayers, the assessor and the board of review to ensure that all taxpayers have an equal opportunity to be heard by the board of review of Salem Township hereby resolves. According to provision of MCL 211.30 of the General Property Tax Act, that the board of review shall receive letters of protest regarding assessments from residents, taxpayers, from the second Wednesday in March until it adjourns from the public hearings from which it meets to hear such protests. All notices of assessments, change, and all adversements of board of review meetings include a statement that the resident taxpayer may protest by letter to the board of review. The foregoing resolution was offered by me and supported by
I'll support.
Mr. Commerce, and we'll take a roll call vote. Mr. Wensley.
Converse,
Yeah.
Daniel is absent. DeLuca,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Trent,
yes,
Hensley, yes. And Whitaker.
Yes. Okay, moving on to Resolution 2021-20902, the Board of Review Poverty Hardship Guidelines. Whereas the adoption of guidelines for poverty exemption is within the purview of the Salem Township Board, and whereas the homestead of persons who, in the judgment of the supervisor and the Board of Review, by reason of poverty hardship and are able to contribute to the public, is eligible for exemption in whole or part from taxation under Public Act 390, 1994. Whereas pursuant to PA 390, 1994, Salem Township, Washtenaw County adopts the following guidelines, which are attached for the supervisor and board of review to implement. Now therefore, it being resolved that the Board of Review shall follow the above state policy and federal guidelines in granting or denying any exemption. Therefore, resolution was offered by me and supported by anybody?
I'll support.
TJ? And we'll have a roll call vote.
Converse,
Yes.
Daniel is absent. DeLuca,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Trent,
Yes.
Wensley, yes. And Whitaker.
Yes. Okay, under the mutual aid agreement, Mr. Wensley.
All right, give me just a second. I move that Salem Township approve this motion to authorize Supervisor Whitaker to sign the updated mutual aid agreement, which allows Salem Township to participate in the Michigan Mutual Aid Box Alarm System for the purposes of addressing certain needs of mutual aid and fire protection, rescue, and emergency medical assistance, including hazardous material control, per the attached agreement details. Would someone like to make a second?
I'll support Bill Converse.
Mr. Conver seconds. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, we have a Trent speaking. Can someone summarize what is any significant changes in this agreement?
Jim Rockwell's on the phone, or on the meeting here.
If I may be allowed, Mr. Supervisor. So this is an updated
Sure.
document from something we signed a long time ago from WAMA, which stands for Washtenaw Area Mutual Aid Association. So we're part of this association. This is an updated agreement that would say if we needed mutual aid, we would receive it, and vice versa, we would give mutual aid. It just updated and cleaned a lot of the language that was outdated, and for the most part, there is no real big changes other than we're using box cards now and cleaning up some of the language that all the other departments will be signing. So nothing significant as far as changing business or the way we're doing business. Does that kind of answer your question, Mr. Trent?
Yes.
Any other questions
Okay.
that could summarize for anybody?
Okay, if not, we'll call for the roll.
Converse,
Yes.
Daniel is absent. DeLuca,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Trent,
Yes.
Wensley, yes. And Whitaker.
Yes. Okay, so financials, there's none. Chief, are you available to any comments for your report?
Yes, thank you. I'll keep it brief. So we just signed an updated mutual aid agreement or approved that, and oddly enough, last Thursday, we put it in practice. Northfield had a fire on 9 Mile, probably about a mile outside of Dixboro, outside our jurisdiction. Our Thursday was our day for maintenance of the trucks, and our truck happened to be up at Speedway on Pontiac Trail, just north of 9 Mile. And when we got the mutual aid call, our truck was the first one on the scene and actually was the first one that would attack their fire. So it was able to kind of save the house that wasn't burned to the ground. And using our new tanker, it worked actually, I would say, pretty flawlessly. So again, that's the mutual aid system working there. They needed the help because it was an unhydrated area. It was, I believe, a chimney or a heater fire that got into the walls and started racing through the house. So I'm pretty sure Northfield was pretty happy to see us there. We beat all of their apparatuses and any other mutual aid. So the truck performed great. We've had 51 calls, which is up for this year. And hopefully the weather gets a little better and we can start getting our call volume down, but it's been up this past month. Is there any questions anybody has for me?
I think we're all set. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Under board discussion, any topics? Mr. Plato, you're on the line? Is he on the line? Was
He is, but he's muted. Got it.
He's muted? That's good for him.
He doesn't
Maybe he
know.
won't charge.
Oh, there
Maybe
you
he
go.
won't charge if you mute him.
Bad chance of that, but.
Anything you want to discuss on any issues with the Superior Township and Salem?
Just that, unfortunately, we thought we were close to a resolution with Superior Township by way of a consent judgment, but I heard back from their attorney about 2 weeks ago saying that for whatever reasons that are unknown to us, they are no longer interested in proceeding with a consent judgment. Although they have taken the township's check for $30,000 that was given to them for the escrow, and they are in the process of doing an engineering and legal review of our application for the sewer main. So I guess we'll have to wait to see what happens after they complete that review. And then we'll go back, probably have another meeting with them before our next board meeting to see where we can go from here.
So, any question, board members? It's just funny that they took our 30,000. And then, anyway, it is what it is. So, but hopefully they are reviewing that and that they'll see that it should be done right and see what their issue is after that. So that's according to what their, just to recap, that is according to what their ordinance requires, which they had put that in not too long ago. We had required an escrow for them to review the plans of the line coming through down Govertson Road.
Does anyone know
Any
who
other
they
questions?
use for their
that?
engineering firm?
Pardon?
Does anyone know who they use for their engineering firm?
It's OHM.
Oh, it's
So OHM is the one doing the review of the application,
Okay.
right.
the sewer plans.
Is there a certain time window that they're committed to reviewing that application?
No, unfortunately, there isn't. I mean, we've been waiting for almost a year and a half now for them to begin the review process. So, you know, our engineers have told us that since our plans have already been reviewed and approved by the state of Michigan through Eagle and they've been approved by the Washtenaw County Road Commission. The review process should be fairly quick, but even if they were doing a review from the very beginning without anybody else having reviewed it, our engineers have said they don't think that process should take any more than a few weeks. So if we don't hear something from them soon, we'll know that they're just doing the feet dragging again, which we've been experiencing for the last year and a half.
So what's our recourse then?
Well, we have, the lawsuit is pending between Salem Springs, Salem Township, and Superior. So we will have to determine what next steps will be, which will be one way or another to get it in front of the court, Judge Connor, to have him make some decisions on what the rights are of the various parties. So that would probably be the next step. If we can't come to some sort of agreement, we'll have to force the issue and take it in front of the Washtenaw Circuit Court.
Should we try to get on their schedule as soon as possible?
In court? Yes, we can. Actually, I'm kind of surprised that the court hasn't scheduled a scheduling conference with us yet. But that's obviously, most all the courts have been pretty much shut down because of COVID. So we're hoping that, with most of the states, the health department restrictions letting up, and the fact that the vaccine is now being distributed, the court should be opening back up also, and things should move a little more quickly along through the court system.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Any other updates anybody like to talk about? Okay, if not, we are down to public comment again.
Again, if there are any
Paul, you wanna-
members of the public who would like to speak during public comment, you can indicate that you would like to provide a comment by clicking the raise your hand button. It's found at the bottom of your screen if you're on a computer. It's at the top of your screen if you're on a tablet. We will enable your microphone and allow you to speak one at a time. And again, if you called in by phone, you can indicate that you would like to speak by pressing *9. Mr. Supervisor, I see no one raising their hand.
Okay. All right, so do you think we can meet in person next month? Have an open meeting? Any news on that, Ed, or anybody here?
No news on that yet. Right now, the legislature is allowing virtual meetings through March 31st. So that's where it stands at this point.
But maybe we can sneak one in next month?
Maybe.
All right. Well, we'll try to have a live one in the next meeting. Any other comments from anybody? If not, we are adjourned at 7:27.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you. Isn't that wonderful, Paul?
I think all of a sudden, South World is